We're back with the Real Conversation Show. My name's Christopher, and I'm here with Alton. This is the last stretch of our interview, but I have a few key questions that I really want to get your take on. So one of the things about our show in particular, it's about millennials. It's about young people of color telling our side of the story. And one of the things that I was thinking about in the car on the way over here is about contribution. And I wonder, from your perspective, an argument that I could see being made is, on the one hand, going to work, wearing the tie, having the conversations, and then being fired, even though you didn't know that was the direction it was going, right? On the other hand, I think what some people, especially the older generation, would have suggested, right, is to sort of be quiet, not do those things. And the greater contribution would be to be a young black man in the public defender's office and having that body in place to help justice along. So I guess, what would you say to that argument, and how do you feel about having chosen to do things the way you have?
I think that it's a very interesting argument. And the reason why I say that is because in order to remain and to continue to contribute as an assistant public defender, I would have to basically remain silent and allow myself to be treated as subhuman in the context of that office, because everyone else got to express their viewpoints. Everyone else got to feel how they wanted to feel. Everyone else got to participate in the democratic process, not only in the voting booths, but in the meeting rooms, in the conference rooms, in the libraries, and private conversations around the office. And I'm not sure, and I give weight to that argument. I think it's sensible in some aspects, because I think it's great, to have, an African American in that office when there are so few. I think it's great to have someone there representing these majority minority clients who can actually relate to them on a deeper level in some aspects. But I think at the same time, if you go long enough pretending that you're someone that you're not and allowing people to run over you, I think that you lose a piece of yourself. And I'm not sure if I'm willing to make that sacrifice. I think it's clear that I wasn't willing to make that sacrifice. And people do every day. And I think that I have some respect for someone that can take that and take that and take that. But I'm not someone that can. I can't sit around and watch young black people, unarmed, being killed and say nothing. I can't sit around and watch, Sandra Bland, in the custody of police, pulled over for a minor traffic offense, end up dead with no explanation and just be okay with that. I can't watch Trayvon Martin, a young kid, teenager. All he did was go into a store, purchase a few items, and walk through a neighborhood. That's it. All he did was walk home. I can't watch that and not feel some way about it. I can't watch that and not react to it. I can't watch that and remain silent about it. That's not me. I'm just not made that way. I respect the people that are. Maybe they're tougher than I am in some aspects. But maybe I'm tougher because I spoke up when most people wouldn't say anything. Maybe it's something of value to be willing to sacrifice your job, your benefits, the fact that $150,000 in loans would have been forgiven had I worked at that office for 10 years. Maybe the fact that I believe strongly enough about this to give those things up means something too.
And I ask you one fun question, and then I have a couple stuff that you have going on now that I just want to ask you about. I haven't had an experience to the level anywhere close of what you're talking about. However, I have had a moment where I was working and I was in a position where, I wasn't happy. And I was making some changes, and I sort of got in trouble and was fired for being involved in making those changes in my life and the things that I was doing. And I remember there was a moment where when I first was fired, I was like, oh, shit, what am I going to do? Bills, how am I going to survive? But then I remember it was actually on the ride home that I had this weird feeling. It just felt so damn good. And I just remember feeling the most alive I've ever felt in my life. And I wonder, during this process, have you had that moment? Do you feel it coming? Has it happened? And do you have that moment?
I would say, I think you can tell by the smile on my face that I've had that moment. I would say that I had that moment when I was sitting in a restaurant with my friend Thomas, having a bite to eat. And it was on the day that the article was posted. Sitting in a restaurant, just having a normal day. And I look at my Facebook and I see that the article that I shared from the Florida Today had been shared over 200 times. I think when I saw that and I realized that I was not alone in this struggle, I felt a lot better about the situation. Because there was a moment, there was a brief time of darkness right after the whole incident happened, where I just kind of felt like, man, what am I gonna do? I'm all alone. In Brevard County, I don't have family. I don't have any blood relatives, that is, aside from people at church and a few friends. I can't imagine, if I was out of work long enough that I couldn't pay my bills. I can't think of someone that I would actually feel comfortable going to and asking, hey, can I have this amount of money to pay my bills? And so, there was a moment of darkness, but I think that shining moment really was when I saw that the post about what had happened to me had gone viral, and that all of these people, white, black, Hispanic, Asian, gay, straight, all of these different people had empathy for my situation. All of these people had some experience in their lives that led them to relate to me. All of these people could feel me, and I appreciated that.
Okay. I mean, that's good. I'm glad you've had that moment, because I know, like, at the scale where you are, that must have been an amazing sort of realization.
Oh, absolutely.
I want to ask you about what's next. What is next for Alton Edmond?
Well, I'm still the director of music at my church, Mount Moriah AME Church. I do plan to do that as long as they don't decide to fire me. But they won't fire me because of Black Lives Matter tie. So I feel good about that part. I have a motivational speaking company, Edmond Inspiration, and I do plan on getting more active with my motivational speaking company. Because of my 9-to-5, I really wasn't as involved as I could have been in my motivational speaking company, posting some inspirational quotes here and there. But since I've been let go, I've been taking more time to come up with more material and taking more time to plan events. And so it's been a lot of fun, just sitting back and getting more involved in what I really like to do, because I've always said that, motivational speaking is really what I want to do full time. I would love to travel the world and just speak to people and just tell them about the experiences I've had. I mean, believe it or not, this experience is actually adding to my motivational speaking career because, that's just one more piece of adversity that I'm having an opportunity to leap over. And one more experience that I can give people to inspire them that, if I can make it through this, then you can too. And then, finally, I am working on opening up my own law practice. I want to continue the criminal defense work that, that I did and that I did well. And I also want to take on some civil rights work because I want to be an advocate for people that are experiencing situations like the one that I experienced. I want people to know that there is someone out there that knows how they feel. I want people to know that there's someone out there that can represent them that has been in their shoes and that know what it feels like. And I think that would make people more comfortable coming to me about civil rights matters specifically. And, even about criminal defense matters because, that's what I did and I enjoyed to do it. And I took a $57,000 pay cut to do it, because, they published my salary in the news. I don't know why. But, I made $43,000. Well, if you look online, the average attorney in the state of Florida makes $100,000. I was working at a discount so that I can do justice for people.
Mm-hmm. Now you have, I know you said shameless plug earlier, but it's not. You can go ahead because you have a rally coming up that I want to definitely make sure that you get that information out there. And you have a GoFundMe campaign. So tell us about both of those things.
Yes, sir. Well, I don't like the word rally because it's, people get carried away when they talk about different demonstrations. And so I want to make it very clear. This is a peaceful demonstration that highlights the social issues that are going on. It's to raise awareness about Black Lives Matter and what that means. It's to raise awareness about First Amendment rights and what that means. It's to raise awareness for each and every person, every type of person that has been discriminated against, whether they're Asian, Muslim, a woman, that has been discriminated against for, sexist work environments or anything. This is really for everyone, anyone and everyone that has ever been through something. And that demonstration is coming up on Thursday, the 9th, which is just in a couple days, at noon at the Brevard County Courthouse over in Viera. The More Justice Center, I believe, is the name for it. Mm-hmm. And there are several organizations partnering with me in that venture. The overwhelming support has been amazing, and there have been several organizations that have reached out to me and that want to take part in that. And I encourage anyone that wants to be involved to get involved. Even if you've never been through that situation, get involved for the person that has been. Get involved for, the person that could be. Get involved for, your children. You never know who could face what I've faced. And GoFundMe, that campaign is something that I have going on. I believe that my GoFundMe account name is the Edmond Justice Fund. And it's pretty easy to find if you put that in. But, I'm really looking for help in starting my law practice so that I can, one, help people of the community, because that's what I do. Mm-hmm. That's why I did what I did at the Public Defender's Office. I want to help people. I want to be an advocate for them, for people that, that can't articulate legal arguments, for people that have no voice, for people that are silenced like I was silenced before I decided to stand up. And I also want to do more community involvement. I want to do more motivational speaking events, and donations would also go toward allowing me to travel and speak at schools, speak at churches, speak at different places in different communities that might need to be inspired.
All right. Well, thank you so much, Mr. Alton
Thank you
Edmond,
for having me.
for having taking the time out of your day to come here to talk to us on our brand new podcast show. If you like what you saw, if you have any other questions, how can people find you on social media?
Alton Edmond-Esq on Facebook, Edmond Inspiration on Facebook as well.
All right. And thank you guys so much. If you like what you see, follow us on Facebook. We have a YouTube channel, and we will be on SoundCloud. This has been our very first interview here at the Real Conversation Show. Thank you guys so much for watching.